How you doing, Mr. Hill?
Pretty good. I hope you and everybody in Bears Nation are well. When you talk about the process, how important is executing and going out there and doing the things you discussed, doing that on the field? You've looked at the tape and you've seen this before. And once you get out there, it's just like what you saw. Talk about going out there and getting it done.
It is. Execution truly is, the base point of the process, right? And so when we talk about executing, but for these young men, they get out there and I think they kind of lose that because they want to do well. They want to win. So they think they must put more on it, right? Then I go back to the analogy of my grandmother, right? The recipe is the recipe. You don't need to put any more or any less. Just do your job. And doing your job is executing, right? That's part of the process. Just go out. Part of the process isn't doing more, isn't going outside the realm of what we ask you to do. And that basically boils down to discipline, right? So, and that falls on me. That falls on me as the head coach to try and get these guys to buy in to say, hey, listen, you are a great player. But the great players all do one thing. They do the small things and they do what they're asked to do. And that's what makes them great because they can withstand the strain of getting caught up in the bright lights in the big moment because there are no such things as a big moment. And people ask me all the time, what do you mean there's no big moment? Because if I continue to do the same thing I'm doing all the time, and that's doing my job, there's never a big moment because I'm going to do the same thing and I'm going to be consistent at it. And I think our guys got caught up in the game at Howard by being Friday Night Lights and then it being Howard and just fell away from executing and just fell into trying to just play football and do a little bit too much.
Coach, every weekend in HBCU football, there's a big game. This weekend, Pitt's Morgan on the road at South Carolina State. When you think about the legacy in HBCU football, it's a beautiful thing. But from a coach's perspective, outside the box, how do you look at it?
It is a beautiful thing. I mean, you're looking at Coach Pugh and what he's done over his tenure as a head coach, breaking the win record of his school, and all the guys that he's put in the NFL. Some great players that are still playing today that's in the league. I faced one of his guys, I think, when he was with the Houston, I think he was with the Colts, Indianapolis Colts, the linebacker. But when you look at it, like you said, the totality, and when you look outside of it, and I'm going to continue to say this, and sometimes I catch a little flack, but I'm outside of it. I'm looking in at it, right? We do have good players. We have great coaches, and it's an incredible atmosphere. It's a little bit different than PWIs, but it's supposed to be, right? It is supposed to be. It's one of the deals where I feel very comfortable, where I didn't feel comfortable at a PWI in certain situations. But at the end of the day, this place is home. It's a place for our young men to come and grow, not only as football players, but I think a lot of our young men grow expeditiously and rapidly as men when they're in these places because you get a chance to see who they really are. You get a chance to see into their homes and you get a chance to really identify with them. And 9 times out of 10, you can't get to football until you get through the other stuff. So I love it. I absolutely love it.